Hi everyone, hope you're all having a great day. So in this video, I'm going to be doing an update on my iron level and talking a little bit more about anemia and also talking about anemia and pregnancy. I apologize ahead of time. I have a little bit of a stuffy nose. I think it's just this time of the year. April's just started and there's a lot of allergies and things going around. So I'm just getting over something. Today, like I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about anemia and my iron update. A lot of you have been watching my previous video that I did about facial signs of anemia, and I asked you to share your stories, and I'm shocked how many of you are struggling with anemia, with low iron, with low hemoglobin levels, and how that's affecting your day-to-day life and just, you know, your overall well-being. And I didn't expect to get that many responses, that many stories. So thank you so much for sharing your experiences, what has helped you, what hasn't helped you, and some of the frustrations and some of the good things that you've learned going through this journey. I am 27 weeks pregnant right now. So for those who are pregnant, your iron levels may be a little bit different than if you're not pregnant. So in case you're watching this video for the first time, or if you're new to my channel, what I wanted to talk about was what my iron levels have been and what has been happening to the body, and really two specific products that have literally saved me and my energy level and my iron levels. We're the beginning of April now, and in January I had my iron and my ferritin level tested, and it was a 28 in January, so that was about 3 months ago. So I thought, great, you know, the baby's good, I'm absorbing iron, great, there's no issues. And I ran out of one specific product, but I was still taking an iron tablet, and that was the Hemoplex, which I talk about a lot in my previous videos. So I was only taking one Hemoplex a day, and one Hemoplex contains 45 milligrams of iron. It has the copper. I'll list all the ingredients, but I thought this would be good enough to maintain that 28-30 iron, that 28 to 30 ferritin level that I felt very comfortable in, because like I said, I have never gotten my iron up that high. I've always hovered around between 6 and 9, which is very low. And again, those of you who have very low iron, you know it completely just drains your energy. And so from January, I ran out of the liquid, which I'll show you in a second, and I was just taking the tablet from January until beginning of March. And I thought, I'm taking a prenatal, multivitamin, B12 every day, and this iron tablet, it should be good. 2 months later, in March, I went to get my iron retested, because when you're pregnant, they really want to check that there's no severe signs of anemia. It can be very dangerous for the baby, and also for the mother naturally as well. You want to make sure that you're in optimal range. And in pregnancy, they say that iron above a 10 is normal. Anything below a 10 is a bit of a concern. So I thought, well, I'm at the 28, no concerns, it's great. So March 16th, I got my iron retested and the red blood cell count. So when you do get your iron levels checked, they check a full count. So they do the red blood cell count, they do the hemoglobin, the white blood cell count, and then the ferritin. So just remember, early January I was 28. March 16th, so 2 months later, I go to get my results. My ferritin dropped to 16. So it went from 28 to 16 in 2 months. And I talked to the midwife about this. She said the baby takes a lot of nutrients. So whatever you're eating, whatever you're consuming, the baby takes it first, and whatever is left over will be given to the mother. And I thought, how on earth did my iron drop so low from a 28 to 16 in 2 months when I have consistently been taking the iron tablet, you know, every day, no issues. So naturally, because you guys know my history of anemia, I started panicking a little bit, and more so because I have a growing baby inside of me, and this has been my biggest fear with pregnancy overall, is struggling with anemia and not being able, you know, to function at an optimal level, because energy levels and all the other symptoms that come along with it. So so that was March 16th. So then what I decided to do, so my midwife said, okay, why don't we retest it in about 10 to 12 days, and we'll see what is happening to your body. If the iron drops again from 15, and if it goes any lower, then we'll have to start seeing if there's anything else that we can do, looking at some other options to get your iron and the red blood cell count up. So on March 28th, so that's 12 days later, I decided to get my iron retested. So remember, March 16th, it was, the ferritin was around the 15 mark. What I noticed was I was only taking 1 tablet of the Hemoplex. I wasn't taking the other supplement that I ran out of, the Iron Smart by Lorna Vanderhaeg. And so right away when I found out that my iron was a 15 on March 16th, I went and I bought 3 bottles of the Iron Smart, because I know Lorna's products have worked so well for me. There's something about the absorption, even the multivitamins. I did a video on the collagen line that she carries as well, which I'll do a follow-up video on that. But I said, okay, what am I doing differently than what I did before to get the iron level up? And I was missing the liquid iron, and I'll leave a link below where you can order it if you want to give it a try, if any of you are struggling with anemia. So for 12 days straight, the only changes that I did 2 major changes. I took both of these together, and instead of taking it in the morning with food, so with other foods that I was consuming, what I would do is before going to sleep, I would take the Hemoplex and the 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon of the liquid iron together. And it wouldn't be on a full empty stomach, but it wouldn't be in combination with other foods or other multivitamins or B12s or vitamin D or anything else that I was taking. So I really wanted to make sure that the absorption was optimal at night when I wasn't mixing it with anything else. And so the great thing about the Hemoplex product is that there is vitamin C in here, and there is B12, there's chlorophyll. So there's a lot of things that will help the absorption, so you don't necessarily have to drink it with orange juice. I would just take it with a cup of water. And then the liquid iron, I would even just drink a little bit out of the bottle and then put it back in the fridge. So once you open it, you have to refrigerate it. So those are the 2 things that I did differently for 12 days straight, and also considering the fact that I am pregnant. Within 12 days, I managed to get my iron back up from a 15 to a 28 again. And that was only 12 days of being consistent and very meticulous with how I was taking these supplements. And that's something that I wanted to talk about again in a separate video, but the way your body absorbs and the types of supplements that you're taking is so important, because you could be popping all the right things. You could be, you know, taking your calcium and your iron at the same time every day consistently, but not seeing any changes in your numbers. And then you're wondering, what am I doing wrong? I mean, I'm taking these supplements, but there's a certain way that you have to take certain supplements. You can't mix everything together. When I see people or women saying, oh, here are all my vitamins that I'm taking for the day, and they put it all in their hand and they just take it all in the morning all at once, and especially with eating a big breakfast or a lot of food, and these tablets are not necessarily going to absorb all the nutrients that are in them. So your body needs a little bit of a liquid form, and like I said, this one here that I found, one of Lorna's line, the Iron Smart from her line, has just worked the best and the quickest in getting results. So I wanted to share my experience with you because I know that I've struggled in the past hovering over between 6 and 9 for the ferritin level, and I know there are so many of you, because I've read all of the comments that you've left on my video on facial signs of anemia, and there are too many of you out there who are struggling with this, and it honestly breaks my heart because I know what it feels like, and you're not at your optimal energy range. So I'm not a medical professional. I can't give you medical advice. I can just show you what has worked really well for me, and those are those 2 products. And again, I will put them in the link below so you can check them out if you want to give it a try. If anything, give Lorna's liquid iron a try, even for 2 to 3 weeks every day, and see how you feel. The other thing that you'll probably notice that I do is I always get a photocopy of all of my blood results, and because that's something that I want to understand. I don't want the doctor just saying, oh yeah, everything's normal. Like, what does that mean, normal? Because I want to see how my body is absorbing things, what the levels are, so I can understand what is going on in my own body and not just assume or rely on someone else. So what I would highly recommend is that you always get a photocopy, or at least get the numbers of any blood work that you get done, and keep a file. So I actually have my own medical file that I keep at home. These are copies of everything that's been done on me, ultrasounds, blood work, everything from, you know, over the last 10-15 years, because I know your doctor has a copy of your chart, but I like to see and have it at home as well. Now, as far as anemia and iron deficiency in pregnancy, this is something that is so common. Again, like I mentioned before, the baby will take all of the nutrients first and leave whatever is left for the mother. And even with calcium, if you're not taking enough calcium, the baby will actually take it from your bones. And that's why it's really important to make sure that you are eating a lot of calcium rich foods and liquid. I'm mostly plant-based, so I don't consume dairy or regular milk or anything, you know, with animal products. So I make sure to drink at least 2 or 3 cups of almond milk a day. Also, I do take a calcium supplement, but again, I make sure not to take it with the iron or with anything else. It's better to take calcium, again, completely separate, so it can completely absorb in the body and not interfere with anything else. Digestion can interfere with a lot of the absorption of these supplements and anything that you're taking. That's a quick anemia update on my end. I just wanted to share what I've learned and, you know, the findings with you. Again, I'm very much evidence-based, so I look for evidence to support what I'm saying, and just the fact that I can see that my numbers, you know, they went down, but they went back up, and the changes that I made in my lifestyle, those are things that you can also do to help see if your iron levels go up. So leave a comment below if you can relate to this video, or maybe if you've tried these 2 supplements, also leave a comment below. I love reading and responding to your comments, and also just seeing what other people are going through as well. If you've tried everything, if you've tried all sorts of different tablets and injections and everything trying to get your iron level up, just share your story in the comments, and you'll see there's a big community here that a lot of people can respond to, and we can all help each other out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!